Every point costs us $360 billion a year. Think of that, $360 billion for 1 point. And we should be down at 1% because we're the leader of the world. We were always the lowest interest rate until like a certain time ago, decade, couple. But we were always, because we were the United States of America. So even if the country was run badly, we were considered like to be super prime. And now he's got us in a bad place. So we're paying $360 billion a year for each point. Now, I believe we should be 3 or 4 points lower. So that's over $1 trillion we pay every year in interest. And it's really just a paper calculation. You sign a document and you save almost $1 trillion because that number equates very much to the bonds that we have to buy. But despite that, we're powering through it. And we have the greatest economy maybe we've ever had. But the housing sector, people aren't able to get good mortgages. They're paying too much because of Jerome Too Late Powell. Each point that this gentleman keeps up costs us $365 billion a year. Think of that. 1 point, $365 billion.
What I'm most excited about is an announcement that we're going to make, that we're making now, which is that the Florida Department of Health, in partnership with the governor, is going to be working to end all vaccine mandates in Florida law. All of them. All of them.
Washington, D.C. is a totally safe city. You're not reporting any crime because there is none. They said crime is down 87%, and I said, no, it's not. It's down 100%. We have a great thing going. I could do that with Chicago. We could do that with New York. We could do it with Los Angeles. So we're making a determination now. Do we go to Chicago, or do we go to a place like New Orleans, where we have a great governor, Jeff Landry, who wants us to come in and straighten out a very nice section of this country that's become quite tough, quite bad. So we're going to be going to maybe Louisiana, and you have New Orleans, which has a crime problem. We'll straighten that out in about 2 weeks. It'll take us 2 weeks, easier than D.C. But we could straighten out Chicago. All they have to do is ask us to go into Chicago if we don't have the support of some of these politicians. But I'll tell you who is supporting us, the people of Chicago. And I sort of want them to let it be known they have incompetent people.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And you know I come back with that video just to make you think. And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. Also, go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Trump has to refinance close to $10 trillion. And that's why we're getting all this drama, and we know it's only going to be stepped up. Tariff drama, government shutdown drama. The drums are beaten. And then also we have the bond market becoming more volatile. But we know anytime the U.S. is broke, we know we always get that black swan, and we're going to also get a big black swan next year in order to move us in to the fourth industrial revolution. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. Now we have DeSantis to make Florida the first state to end all jab mandates for schools. And we know a lot of states are going to follow. But the key is, guys, make sure you're doing your research. We know some of the jabs are good, but most are not. And all you have to do is do your research to see the ones that work and don't work. And we know for a fact that the government should already be doing that, but we know why they don't. And if you look across Europe, they don't have a blanket jab mandate. And also we know they don't have all those chemicals in the food. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have Trump on the National Guard fighting crime. And we know instead of the National Guard, a good job and something for the kids to do, would have done the same thing. But any time that you allow the government to handle your business, you know it's something bigger around the corner. And we know why this is all being set up. If you're part of the Patrons, you know. History always repeats itself. And then we have a potential government shutdown. And what do we do at this time? That's right, get our popcorn, sit back, and let it play out, because it's all a distraction. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Saying that the world is facing a choice between peace or war, as he hosted a giant military parade commemorating the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. That parade was meant to project China's military and diplomatic power and featured missiles, tanks, and drones. Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un joined Xi, but Western leaders mostly stayed away. President Trump fired off a Truth Social post as the parade got underway, saying that he hoped Xi honored American sacrifices in World War II. He said, "Please give my warmest regards to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un as you conspire against the United States of America." Kind of an interesting concept, saying that the world has to be choosing between peace and war as you're standing next to Putin, who is going after Ukraine, looking to expand his empire constantly, questions about what happens in Taiwan, too. So, sure, it's a choice between peace and war. It's just a question of who gets to make that choice.
And I also think it's interesting because you saw him come to, I don't remember, to Davos now a couple of years ago, where he basically made this whole argument. This is when Trump didn't. This is back in the old former administration. And he basically made the argument that China was going to bring the whole world together. So it was sort of a very interesting sort of distinction between that speech, which was probably now, 6 years ago, and today.
Peace and war between whether anybody stops their ambitions to continue to spread.
Putin constantly lulls you into sort of I don't know, he's the most dangerous man in how many decades? Don't you think most brutally dangerous? I don't know about Xi, I guess maybe, but we're seeing it more and more with Putin. I mean, in the minute you forget some of the things that have happened in Ukraine, he reminds you very, very quickly. Well, avoid all umbrellas when I'm walking around.
A lot of oxygen and a lot of time, and I wonder how much we ought to be putting to the idea that we could be facing a government shutdown in a couple of days, and I will say, or a couple of weeks. And I say this at a time where globally we're talking about government dysfunction, how much it could be affecting some of the fiscal worries in markets. Are you expecting us to actually shut down again? I mean, is this actually a worry that we have to focus on?
Well, I think that the market is pretty desensitized because there have been so many head fakes around government shutdowns, around debt ceiling fights, and so I think it's sort of understandable that the market sort of inured to even this discussion. But we do think the risk for a shutdown is higher this time around than it has been in probably several years. And that's because just the friction between the Republicans and the Democrats, the requirement, remember that in order to fund the government, you need at least 60 votes in the Senate. That by definition will require some Democratic cooperation in the Senate. You may even need Democratic cooperation in the House as well. And just given that lack of comity, that friction, maybe an understatement, I do think that the Democrats may very well be willing to take the political risk and shut down the government. Now, what we've seen from an economic perspective, it doesn't really matter unless it is a prolonged shutdown. But again, I don't think the risk of that is necessarily zero, just given some of these sort of political dynamics.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China. But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the fourth industrial revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.